The question as to who is Rey and where does she come from is the biggest question that we've had in Star Wars for decades. It was a question that was first raised in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, without us getting any major hints as to where Rey came from in The Force Awakens, other than the fact that her parents apparently left her on the desert world of Jakku, and quotes by Maz Kanata in the film telling Rey that her past actually does not matter, and that what is important lies in front of her. In The Last Jedi, we learned a little bit more about Rey's parentage, and Kylo Ren specifically telling Rey about her parentage, with Kylo Ren telling Rey in The Last Jedi that her parents were nobody, and that they were drunkards that left her on the desert world of Jakku because they sold her off for drinking money. In The Rise of Skywalker, we will be getting the definitive answer though as to who Rey's parents are, as was confirmed by J.J. Abrams about a month back. However, J.J. Abrams was not the original individual that was in charge of Star Wars Episode 9. Originally, it was Colin Trevorrow, director of Jurassic World, who again was infamously fired from the project and replaced by J.J. Abrams, with Colin himself even saying that he believes that J.J. Abrams introduced a superior ending and a superior story to the Skywalker saga. Thankfully today though, I want to make this really interesting video. Thanks to Making Star Wars, we have a ton of information on the original Episode 9 script. I want all of the information and credit on this video to go to Making Star Wars and his scoop on the original Episode 9 script. And be sure to check out the full Star Wars website on all of the Star Wars information from past and present. Now though, let's get on with the information dump. First, I do want to remind you guys about the massive sale on the Star Wars merch page with items 17 to 68% off. So an absolutely massive sale. Check it out at the top of the link in the description below. Now though, on with the Making Star Wars story. According to the Colin Trevorrow Episode 9, this is what Making Star Wars had to say about Rey and her true parentage. Quote, in the unmade Trevorrow Star Wars Episode 9 story, Rey had a rather interesting backstory. No, she wasn't a Solo or a Skywalker. Rey was going to be the daughter of a woman who was a cook, housemaid, and once nanny to Ben Solo. Rey and Ben were to have grown up together, and she was like his little sister, living in the Solo household together. It is not clear if Rey's mother was let go because she was a drunkard, but I do know that Colin Trevorrow was continuing with the idea that Rey's parents were nobodies. It was implied at one time that the father and mother of Rey fought at the Battle of Jakku before taking up domestic duties in the Solo family home. So for whatever reason, they returned to that world. So according to this, Rey's parents were set to still be nobody in Colin Trevorrow's Star Wars Episode 9, after Rian Johnson introduced the concept in The Last Jedi, explaining the big reason why he decided to go with this was to show that the Force could choose anybody to give power to, even an insignificant nobody like the daughter of a drunkard, and that the Force didn't always work through the familial line as far as power is concerned, and again that anybody could prove themselves to be Force sensitive. That's why the very last shot of The Last Jedi is a young stable boy using the Force to pull a broom to him, establishing this idea and concept further, something that was already hit home with the character of Rey. But it appears as if Colin Trevorrow's original Episode 9 script was going to have Rey and Kylo have a connection, but more of a brother and a sister than romantic. Rey was not, of course, going to be a Kenobi, a Skywalker, or a Palpatine, but again, still a nobody. But Colin Trevorrow was going to explain away how Kylo Ren knew of Rey, or seemingly knew of Rey in The Force Awakens. Some other interesting things to point out, of course, are that both Rey's parents apparently fought during the Battle of Jakku as rebels, but were essentially fired by Leia and Solo, with the two drunkards selling Rey off for more money. If I'm being completely honest with you, I really do not like this backstory and original plan for Rey and her parentage, and I would feel that it would fall absolutely flat with audiences. Also in Star Wars Episode 9 Colin Trevorrow's version, there was going to be no Emperor Palpatine, and according to Making Star Wars, the original Episode 9 script involved Kylo Ren hunting down Rey throughout the galaxy, trying to get her to turn to the dark side of the Force, and Rey vice versa. But again, that Rey's parents were in fact servants in the Solo household to Leia. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Again, personally, I do not like this backstory at all, and I'm glad that we'll be getting a different one in The Rise of Skywalker. We'll have to wait though till the end of The Rise of Skywalker to see which one we prefer. Just though, in concept, just hearing about it, I don't like this at all. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts on this and this original Rey's backstory for Colin Trevorrow in Star Wars Episode 9? And would you personally have felt satisfied by this story and the concept that really anybody can use the Force and anybody can grow to be extremely powerful in it? It doesn't matter where you come from. Again guys, be sure to check out the merch, top of the link in the description down below. Again, the massive sale continues. Anyway my friends, may the Force be with you and have a great day.